All right, welcome to a Wednesday. It is the 30th of December, 2020. It's the eve before the eve, the second to last day of the year. And if this year was a fish, I'd throw it right back. That's for sure. Okay, a big show today. Co-hosting with me today, I got to say hello, Juan Padro. How are you? The partner and with Culinary Creative. Good to see you.
How you doing? Glad to be here. It's an exciting show for the modern eater.
You know what? It is an exciting show for all of us together. Yeah. We have a lot of folks that are tuning in from the service industry. I got to tell you, unfortunately, the governor won't be joining us today. Just kidding. I have a sick.
Then I'm out of here, man.
I have a sick.
I don't know. Did you just bait me here to hang out with you?
That's right. That's right. We are live from Studio
What a
Kitchen.
weirdo.
I know. Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have a good conversation today.
Yeah, I think so.
The governor's going to join us here momentarily. We are standing by. Also on the show, Sonia Riggs from the Colorado Restaurant Association, the president and CEO. She'll be joining us along with Katie Lazor from EatDenver, the director. And we think the world of both of those gals within here. So today's kind of a service industry day, and we need some, resolution. We need to talk things through.
I think we need a hug.
We need to talk it out. And as we stand by for the governor, a couple of little just clean up things that we're doing here. End of the year, we need to look forward, Juan.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, 2020, we're not going to change anything that's happened in the past.
That's right.
And my hope is that we're not really focused on that today when we talk to the governor, but solutions, meaningful solutions, and some information to help us move forward and heal and get our industry back and vibrant again and being a part of the community that is just so important to Denver. So
as Culinary Creative and managing partner and the things that you do, boy, just instrumental, the things that you do and the inspiration that you've shown me and others to really just keep us going in a positive direction. That means a lot, Juan.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I've got an awesome team that allows me to go out and frees up my time to do other things, and we're certainly very blessed in our organization, and we're blessed to be in the hospitality community in Denver because there's a lot of people that have stepped up.
So. I think it's capsulized in the name, Culinary Creative, and that's exactly what you try and do.
That's right.
Consistently. Moving into 2021, boy, that's just a good ring in the ears, isn't it? I mean, it sounds good.
Sounds better than 2020.
It does, but there's going to be some challenges ahead as well. And that's really what we need to focus on. But there's a little bit of healing that needs to take place as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, this is we're not through this, and we've got some time to go here, and we've got to come up with a plan that works. Not only to protect the health and welfare of our community, but also that protects the mental health and the economy. So there's got to be a good balance there, and our hope today is that we can ask some questions, and Governor Polis is a super thoughtful guy, and hopefully he has some answers today, and hopefully he leaves with some things to think about.
With my years in this business, anytime somebody shows up, that means a lot. If
That's
you
right.
show up to the dance and you're there and you're gonna answer the questions,
that's right.
That's a stand-up individual, and a lot of people, even folks that voted for Governor Polis, there's a little bit of, especially within the service industry, of like, hey, listen, there's a lot of things that don't make sense right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I can tell you, I've had the opportunity to talk to Governor Polis many times, and he's always been super receptive. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, and he hears me out and listens, and that's, to me, the reason why I support him. And, I don't need to agree with everybody, just like I don't expect them to agree with me all the time. But the fact that he's there, he gives a shit, and, he's a good guy, and hopefully, I think intention is important, and his goal is to get us back open. But, I think there's some other ways to do it.
Absolutely.
So.
Boy, throughout this year, resiliency. Mm-hmm. Wow. Service industry, the resiliency, the creativeness, the toughness, but that togetherness in the family.
Yeah, I mean, people do remarkable things in times of struggle, and you see a lot of inspiration. And my hope is that everybody takes a little time over the next couple days as we close out the year to think about the folks that inspired them and that helped their community and that lifted them up. And whether it's a phone call that you got, or you fed the homeless, or our industry in particular has just done a ton. While we've been getting kicked, while we're down, we're getting back up, and we're taking care of our community, and that's an amazing thing.
Wow, togetherness, and truly to be together, you have to be together. And that's why I really respect that this gentleman is on the show today. He's joining us from, I don't know, it looks great, but it's probably the the Jared Polis. Governor, thank you and welcome to the show. It means the world to us, Your Honor, and we appreciate you coming here today.
Yeah, Greg, these are real flags, not some background, like some wallpaper background. That's the real thing.
The real deal.
They're made in China, like all real flags are.
You just made me snort, Governor. That was a good thing. Thank you for that. Starting out with a laugh, and we have to do that. But again, welcome to the show. This is the Modern Eater Show. We believe to be the kind of the underbelly of the service industry here in Colorado. I'm a native. I grew up in Cherry Creek, Colorado. I still live there right now. The men and women within our communities mean the world to me, and I've been serving our community for over 20 years now in broadcasting and journalism. So I know the game, and I'm so thrilled that you're here with us today. So we're going to have a great, honest discussion, but I can tell you right off the bat, Governor, as you're here with myself and Juan Padro, we're not here to burn a bridge. We're here to build a bridge with you here today. And I think that collectively we have to come together, and hopefully this will be a great start of a relationship that can last for much more time in the future. Let's begin. So how's your health? You and the first general?
Yeah, we're fully recovered. I had a very, very mild case. Marlon's was worse. He was hospitalized for 2 days, but the steroids brought down the inflammation, and we're all back to normal. Thank you. Yeah,
absolutely. Big.
I'm sure most of you, many of you probably had. Have you had staff and friends that have come down with it as well?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes. Big plans for New Year's Eve, or are you going to be like me?
Well, from a culinary perspective, of course, one of the worst side effects is the loss of taste and smell. So that was most unfortunate. Mine is mostly back, thankfully, maybe not to full strength, but it was really weird for a while.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, we had one of our chefs lose his taste of his taste and his smell, and it was pretty odd. And
you're worried. You're like, I hope it comes back. Because you hear it for some people, it takes like 2 or 3 months, and you're like, oh my God,
that's right.
What happens if I have?
That's right. I was actually with him when it came back, which was amazing to see.
You don't know what you have until it's gone. That's for sure.
And when it's gone, it's literally gone. Like you cannot even taste toothpaste. It's
the
weirdest thing.
Governor, I think we have 15 minutes with you, and we'd love to get the best out of it. Big plans for New Year's Eve, or are you going to be like me and I'm in bed and asleep before midnight?
Well, we'll be cooking for the family, so we're just putting together the menu. My son's 9; he likes to cook too. So I think we're going to make. We have one vegan in the household, so coconut banana cream pie, ginger carrot soup. I think we're still working on some of the entrees.
Oh, absolutely. So New Year's marks a great thing for all of us, and this is kind of a great time for you to be on the show. This is the last show for us for the year, for 2020, and what a year it's been.
We're ready to leave 2020 behind. What a horrific year for everybody, but especially for the restaurant industry, culinary industry, but just a horrible year for everybody.
New Year's kind of marks a new beginning. Patti LaBelle would say it's a new attitude, and we really need that. But in order for us to do that, Governor, there does have to be some healing that goes on right now. There's a lot of angst and animosity, and even folks that have voted for you, but in the service industry, these are all fellow Coloradans, but there's a lot of anger, animosity, and feeling that there's discrimination as well towards these restaurants and bars. Do you understand where that anger and animosity is coming from? And if you do, could you talk about what you believe, where it's coming from?
Well, I think it's not just everybody's angry. We want our lives back. We want our jobs back. We want our lives back. Obviously, our greatest, condolences and love go to those who lost loved ones to COVID. Over 3,500 Coloradans. Just the scale of that is immense. We had a flood in 2013. We lost 6 people, 3,500. But of course, beyond those who've suffered great loss, and I've lost 2 friends now to the virus, one close friend. We want our lives back, our jobs back. Young people want to go out. People want to be able to enjoy restaurants and be out. We were one of the first to reopen restaurants, and they're already open again now for the second wave in many counties. We provided a way to do that. Some counties are doing it, some aren't, but we're doing everything we can to get restaurants open and try to get back to normal.
Okay. Juan?
Yeah, I think, there are some counties that are open. I think Denver's a little bit different because of the amount of restaurants that we have here. And when I think about the 5-star program and the daunting task it would be to try to roll that out in the city of Denver. But, in my mind, I can't get over, the fact that it seems that we're sort of at an inflection point right now where, the damage being done to disadvantaged communities and to, single moms and just really our most vulnerable is surpassing the damage that COVID is doing. And I think that, when I walk in and I've got to tell, a man that he can't, that he's getting laid off and that he can't take care of his family, that's a tough conversation to have. And to me, mental health is an extremely important thing. It seems like it's getting overlooked a little bit. And I think we have long-term effects that we need to pay very close attention to. And I'm sure you have an eye towards that. But are we at that inflection point where we've got to balance this the economic health and the mental health of our people with COVID?
Yeah, everybody feels the brunt of this pandemic differently. For somebody trying to provide for their family, losing hours or even their job, they feel it economically. I can tell you there's also people that live in retirement homes and nursing homes who feel it. They don't feel it as much economically because they have they're done working. They're living off their savings, but they feel it psychologically and socially, just the intense isolation, the restrictions around visits. They can't go to the movies. I talked to one gentleman at our veterans retirement home, and he just wanted to be able to play poker again, in the common room with his buddies. He was one of the first people to get the shot. He was a Korean War. He was a Vietnam War veteran. We also inoculated Korean and World War II veterans. So, the good news is there's shots going in the arm every day here in Colorado. We are now inoculating everybody 70 and up. We expect to complete that in about 4 to 5 weeks. That's for the first dose. And that, the 70 and up represent about 78% of the deaths in Colorado. So we really can end that crisis phase of the pandemic, meaning the risk of hospitalization, hospital beds running out, all of that, almost 80% of the deaths pretty soon, which is really, really welcome news.
So can we expect to see some normalcy in dining rooms when that population is vaccinated? Is that what we should be planning on?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me just say, I think 2021 is going to be a great year. I think it's going to be a banner year for restaurants, culinary industry. I think there's so much pent up demand. I think it's going to be a huge year. As you know, we took several steps as the state. We are letting restaurants keep the 2.9% sales tax they collect January, February. And if the legislature wants to extend that, we'd be willing to. There's the new federal package, which every restaurant should get it through their bank, 3.5 months of payroll. You're aware of that, forgivable. They'll keep that. So again, it won't start strong. It'll start, it'll start a lot better than it has been. January is going to be a lot better than December, but I think it'll be a very banner year when you look at all of 2021 for the industry.
Governor, I have our peers ringing in my ears right now. Try and have the governor focus. Yep. And we really would love to hear, and again, I want to circle back around and refocus to the animosity and the anger of the equality. And please just indulge me for a second. Business equality is a big thing. And right now, there are a lot of businesses that believe they're being singled out. I'll just give you a quick story of Alex Armatos from Sam's Number 3 as I interview him in his parking lot in Glendale, Colorado. His business is empty and decimated, and he's looking at how he's going to furlough or lay off some employees, how he's going to make payroll for the employees that he has, how he's going to be able to pay his rent for the month. And as we're there, we look across the street to the Pack King Supers in Glendale of people flooding that businesses and saying, why, oh, why are we being treated differently than another business? Could you please directly talk to that?
Yeah, so I think it's a lot of willful ignorance in the restaurant industry. They're saying, wait a minute, why can people go to an independently owned clothing store but not here? Here's how the virus spreads. It's very simple. It can spread anyway, but the predominant way it spreads is 15 minutes contact in proximity, close contact. So mixed parties sitting at a dinner table for an hour is exactly how it spreads. Shopping, can it spread? Of course. Is there a much lower risk? Absolutely. You pass somebody, you're checking out, it's 1 minute, you're wearing masks. We're not worried about shopping. That's why every store that wants to be open is open. The small shops, the big shops. It's also important to say that restaurants are not the cause of the spread in their activity. It's not like if you have a problem with salmonella or hepatitis. That's kind of on you, that you have to fix that. This is a customer behavior issue, not a restaurant issue. It's 6 people coming in from 6 different households. One of them has it as contagious, and 5 of 6 walking out with it because there's an hour and a half of close contact without masks. So really, it's it's a close contact without masks. Nothing to do with food, nothing to do with eating, nothing to do with your staff. That's why the scientists and the data is really pointed in this direction.
So if that's the case, why can can restaurants at DIA operate at 100% capacity? And that's a city property.
I believe they're takeout, aren't they?
No.
They're generally
they're not.
They're dining and they take out.
No, they're sit down.
Yeah.
They're sit
Well,
down.
it's under federal endeavor. I think all restaurants should be able to be open personally. So hopefully that'll happen soon. I'm glad that at least they're open at DIA. Some of them are independently owned, some of them are chains, but hopefully that'll be the case across the entire restaurant industry soon.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so your people are saying you're out of time. You were a couple minutes late. I do need like 1 or 2 more minutes. I'm telling you, we have to ask you a couple of these questions. So business equality, we talked about. Thank you. Safer at restaurants. Messaging going forward. By you putting a scarlet letter on these restaurants and saying it's not safe to go there, it's putting out messaging that folks are going to have a hard time getting back into restaurants. What will be the messaging from your office as we move forward to help these restaurants with the messaging that it's okay to get back in dining again?
Well, look, I mean, we try to just be transparent and show the data. People should be informed and make their own decisions. Frankly, if you're in your 70s and you haven't been vaccinated yet, you might not go to a restaurant. You might not even go to the grocery store. My parents are having their groceries delivered. They're not even going out. They're 76. They're taking a lot of precautions. Other 76-year-olds may take some risks. Maybe they want to go to restaurants, maybe they don't, but maybe they go grocery shopping. So people should just be informed. If you do go to a restaurant, if you go with your household, much lower risk. That's a much lower risk. The biggest risk is who you go with. It's not the fact that it's a restaurant. There's nothing special about a restaurant. It's who you're with in close contact for an hour and a half. Without masks. That's the risk. I mean, the wait staff, the kitchen staff, much lower risk, reasonable risk to dine out. I probably dined out, and I'm an example of the pent up demand because I love to dine out. We usually dine out, before the pandemic, probably 3 times a week. I support little restaurants. We've dined out probably 4 times in restaurants. We order in all the time, by the way, and we try to do takeout instead of delivery to support our restaurants. We do some of both, but we prefer that the delivery doesn't get a cut, but we do some of both. But I can't wait to go out. So instead of going out 3 times a week, we'll probably go out 4 or 5 times a week post-pandemic. But in the meantime, like a lot of consumers, we've gone out less. Many consumers have, even though most restaurants will probably be open for indoor dining in January and even in February. I just don't think the demand will be the same as it normally is.
I feel people rolling their eyes as they get on airplanes and their closest 200 of their closest friends sitting right next to them, or being in a packed Home Depot, or shopping for the holiday seasons. I feel them rolling their eyes right now.
Airplanes are moderate risk. I'm not as worried about packed Home Depots or packed stores. As I said, you don't generally have 15 minutes of close contact with somebody at one of those stores. You pass people, you walk by. Even if they have it, you're not likely to get it. You may, but your airplanes are absolutely moderate risk. People know that. I think the CDC has recommended against traveling. People are traveling. You can travel. DIA is open, as you said, but it's moderate risk. And if you're in an at-risk group, if you're over 70, you should probably think twice about flying.
Who are you getting your consultation from? Is there an advisory committee that you look to? If so, who's on it? And if not, why not? For restaurants,
we have a lot. I mean, my goodness, we have talked to almost everybody and hear from almost everybody. So, I mean, I spent a lot of day in consultations with small businesses about how we can better support them, counties about how we can get them to open their restaurants. And we've had mixed successes, We got Douglas to open theirs and Summit to open theirs and Larimer to open theirs. And it's more than just opening them. It's actually really exciting because what it means is as all the restaurants open, those restaurants will be able to have much more capacity than restaurants that haven't gone through kind of 5-star model. So it's an exciting way not just to open last week or before, but also to kind of build that path to how you can inspire consumer confidence, which is really critical. That consumers know it is a reasonably safe activity, right? Not perfectly safe, just like other activities. Less safe than a grocery store, probably a little more safe than flying. But we put all this stuff out there, and people make their own decisions.
Yeah. Last one. Okay. Decisions, mandates, and the decisions that you make, are they made off of good data or modeling? Because a lot of people want to know that question. Is this modeling?
Yeah, very solid data and modeling. And that's why it's frustrating when people say, wait a minute, why can't people be, dining indoors, but they can be shopping? The two are totally different experiences. You're not in proximity shopping an hour and a half without a mask with anybody. That's not a shopping experience. You have a 3-minute experience and you're both masked, or you walk by somebody. Can you, is it zero risk? No, it's not zero risk. It's low risk. Indoor dining in restaurants, moderate risk. Some states have closed outdoor dining in restaurants. We haven't. We've doubled down. We've raised, $1 million to help fund outdoor expansions at restaurants. Low risk. Some states, they closed outdoor dining as well. We want to get more indoor dining. We want, of course, outdoor dining to thrive, especially in the spring, spread customers out more. But most importantly, it's who you dine with. So people who want to be careful, it's safe to go out with your own family, eat indoors or eat outdoors to be even safer. But if you're having people from 4 or 5 different households getting together, especially with the prevalence of the virus today in Colorado, that is a scenario where it goes from 1 person to 5, and that also means 1 household to 5, because each person might live with 3 or 4 people. So it could go from 1 to 24 people, in a week and a half.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that this is really a municipality decision, not necessarily yours. You want to get the restaurants open, but it's really up to the county or the city, in our case in Denver, to get these things open.
Yeah, well, we've provided some help with that. Like, for instance, in Routt County, they were a little bit slow in doing their local piece, so we just found a way to, and the data supported it, to say the whole county could do it. But generally, the counties that want open are open. I think there's going to be a lot more of a statewide ease of doing that very soon. It's more county, by the way, not city. You said municipal.
Okay.
It's generally more county. I think cities can do it. So I think in El Paso County, like Colorado Springs is moving a little faster than El Paso County. But the default is the county. Usually it's the county, bigger unit. But we are trying to find a way to bring the entire Denver metro area along. We'll have, I think, some announcements soon on how we can kind of push that to get more of that indoor dining in a safe way going for January.
Governor, I hope you return again. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We would really like to have some follow-up on this. Just take 20 seconds and address and speak directly to the service industry community of anything that you'd like them to know.
Yeah, look, 2021 is going to be a lot better than 2020. It's important that any restaurant owners or financial folks out there get your PPP loans in 3.5 months of operating expenses. Keep people on payroll. They're forgiven. Restaurants are going to be opening more and more for indoor dining. It's important that we respect the safety protocols around that. Extremely important, right? If there's our setbacks and we have to worry again about our hospital capacity like we did 2 or 3 weeks ago, then everything would be on the table. And we don't do anything that just affects restaurants. It's across the entire economy. It's capacity at stores, at gyms, at offices. We're currently in a much better place. I think there'll be a lot more in restaurant dining most of January, probably our whole state in January. And as, especially for the businesses that go above and beyond, a way of identifying that to allow for even more capacity.
Thanks for coming to the dance, Governor. Really respect that. Appreciate it. There he is.
Good to see you.
Governor
Thanks.
Jared
Take care.
Polis.
See you later.
Woo. Okay, that goes by quick, right?
Goes by quick.
I mean, I had forever. And again, okay, let's do this. Let's break off. We'll come back. We've got a lot of work to do.
That's right.
But we also want to discuss what we just heard.
Yes.
And did we hear anything?
I think a couple things.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure out what those are.
All right.
That's an interesting thing. Talking to politicians, you got to know the dance and how to do it and refocus. You go back. He goes to default talking points.
That's right.
Which you have to do. But there is a human side of this. And I believe in my heart that Jared Polis is a good human being that wants the best.
I can tell you that if you believe in me, I believe in him. So.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got a lot of stuff. We want reaction from you, too. Okay, what did you just hear? And trust me, you guys, I got the messages. I hear you say, you owe it to us. Let them have it. hammer him. Speak all collectively. This is the voice. I get it. And this is not a race. Okay, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And if we're truly trying to figure this out, we need allies. We don't need adversaries. That's a big part. And if we can get them thinking, right? If we can get them thinking of hey, listen, we're onto that. We're sniffing that one out. We're onto that trail. There needs to be, folks. I wanted to hear names in an advisory committee. I want them to hear Juan Padro. I want him to. I want him to say those words. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you have a comment, let us have it. You can go to, if you want us to see it, you have to go to the Modern Eater Facebook page and click on that stream there. If you're watching it from another Facebook page, you're going to want to go to the Modern Eater page. We'll take your comments. We'll field them. I don't know what else we can do besides that. It goes quick. Again, we're not going to come across. We'll take a break.